Hey, welcome to my second video. We're supposed to be the second video. It might not be the second video because I'm so tired right now. Of what is going to be my hex editing series for modifying game files inside of Romance of the Three Kingdoms VIII on the PS2 version, but playing it on the PCSX2 emulator on the PC. If you haven't seen the first video in the series, I heavily encourage you to go watch that. It gives an introduction on how to download and install both of these programs and how to run them, and then we start working extensively with the cheat engine. Not so extensively with the cheat engine, just changing some values. But that's pretty much what the cheat engine does, the core of it. The rest of it is finding like how memory addresses reference one another, and that shit is just beyond the scope of what I plan to do with it. So first things first, let's just open this. Oh my god, it's gonna take forever. Let's open that too. We can't open the process because the process is still loading. There we go. Close out that. Here's an additional window that pops up with a PCSX2 when you start it. And we are going to, I've already had my ROTK8 bin ISO selected. Just going to start booting the CD. Playing the music incredibly loud so I can wake the fuck up. Load slot 8 where I had it last time for our main title so that you can start games quicker. So that's something you might want to do, is just save it, save main titles on them, you know, a save slot way down there, 8 or 9. And here we are to the main screen. So let me just once again think about what was going on in the last video. In the last video, I told you how to modify within new officers. Give me 1 second. I'm not thinking correctly. Okay, here's one thing that I have to mention before I recap the last video. When you first start the PCSX2 and you've loaded a save slot like we just did, the first thing you're going to see whenever you go into a memory card feature, whatever relies on the memory card, including new officer creation, or even loading games if we chose that, you won't get anything. What you have to do, what is imperative, is not make a new officer or save anything, just exit out and then go right back in. And then it'll actually load what's on your memory card. It's just a PCSX2 idiosyncrasy, it just happens. You just have to load it twice after you've loaded a save spot. You have to load the digital memory card after you've loaded a save spot, which is independent of the memory cards. It's its own thing, which allows for some versatility, but also can be confusing when it comes to this. You just have to load it separately. Hopefully you can hear me well. Alright, so yeah, so last time, let me just pull up the guide here before I start cheat engine up. Last time what we did was we saw how to change name, gender, face, birth, most of the traits, abilities, skills, and tactics of this officer. When I say most of the traits, we didn't do types, I forgot about that. But this is now a good time to do so. I didn't set it to general. But what I did in the interim, sometime between this video and the last video, after the last video, I changed the tactics back to what they were originally for the officer. I have a really bad memory, so I had a 5 in harass, 4 in ambush, and no siege. But here I changed it back to what it was originally. The skills were okay. And now we're going to begin cheat engine. So we start with a new process here. I know you can't see my cursor when I'm doing cheat engine. You can see it moving once I click the window for it. But I'm just right here. I'm highlighting open. Just watch what I'm highlighting. And again, if you haven't seen the previous video, go and see that. Because that was pretty much the recap of it. I just modified stuff right here. Showed how to modify it. I'm going to load the hex editing video list, so it loads our cheat table, quote unquote cheat table. It's just loading the memory address that we saved from last time. I'm just going to modify some things, you know, for my taste, to do an ennomment. But instead of having Vural here, I'm just going to put officer name or last name, because that's all you're going to see. Last name comes first before first name. I guess name would have been sufficient. And just to, you know, have it in line with everything else that's listed underneath, you know, right there too. All this pertains to new officer stuff. So we have Vu Rao, that's his last name. In reality, it should be the full thing, but you only see the last name. His attributes let me arrange it like I did last time. Something like this. And I'll shorten this right here. Because reasons. We just have this here. Attributes. We changed the attributes last time. Just go see the previous video if you didn't already. I'm not going to change that again. Gender, portrait, all that stuff. And now we want to find out where type is at. So remember, we right click and browse the memory region. And here we are where it says personality. Now, things have been shifted somewhat, and I don't like how it shifts whenever you load something. It'll shift it depending on whether it occurs in one of these 4 columns right here. It like shifts the whole thing of memory addresses in the surrounding region. So I'm just gonna load his last name as a default. Like, I'm just gonna load it because that's what I usually load, I guess. This motivation is 970. So 686970. Wait, doesn't make sense. I have to look. 21E 56970. 21E 56978. 686970. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh, okay. Maybe it does. 7172 7374. If I change that to 1, I don't even know how to count these things. Oh, maybe because I'm not remembering that we're also counting in a hexadecimal fashion. So this is 68697. No, this is 6869 6A 6B 6C 6D 6E 6F 70. So 172. When I say 72, what I mean is 21E 56972. 7374. I postulate. Oh no, 74 is still personality. So 75, 76, 77, 78. 78 should be type. If we change this, I'm just gonna, change that to 1. Go inside a name, come out to see if it changed, and it did change to intellect. So that is the type address here. So we're gonna add that address to the list, and then it'll be NO type, and it will be simply a byte, because addresses don't use 4 million different types. We don't have 4 million different types of an officer, just 7 or 8 or 9. We have 9 different types. So we had war intellect, so this should be 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to go through all the selections, but if that's 4, and I can move this up here so that type appears just below personality, see if that's the type. And it does change the type to general. But notice also, not only did it change the type to general, but it did not default our skills and our tactics. So it's a very quick way of not having to reset those things if you already set them. You can just, fool with the hex editor stuff over here and not have to worry about what the game code does itself when you change those things, because we're bypassing other things. We're bypassing every single memory address that changing these things references through the video game, but changing these things through the video game reference inside of the code itself. I don't know. We're just, being lazy. So, and that's good. So that's what we got here. And we're finished with this officer. Let me save him. And we're not quite done yet. I really want to wait till tomorrow, but let me just think about what's gonna go down today, right now, and verify that I'm recording. Alright, so before we set the parent and friends, I want to show you guys a few things, just a few cool things. Notice that I don't have Ben Franklin. He's a good example of something that I'm going to show. Shorten this stuff. Bring this over here to right there. Bring it on down. Alright, so Ben Franklin. I want to see this whole window. Maybe smaller, but we can put in Ben Franklin. What we can do is change his name, and we can change it in a few ways, and I want to show you. We can't make any name longer than 8 characters, unfortunately, so you can't have that first portrait as Alexander the Great, which is always what I wanted to have, because it just seems like an Alexander the Great kind of person. But what we can do is have single name names without a first name. We have to have it Ben Franken. Yeah. What we can have is our single names, but we can also change whatever names we have to either computer names, computer people names, or other names like the default PAL version names. PAL version is just the version of the game for the PS2 that Koei had, I guess, in Japan or something. But it had different special names for characters. Like this was Zhang Liang, and we're going to change him to Zhang Liang. But you'll see what happens when we change him to Zhang Liang. Let's come up to here, browse this memory region, where his name comes at, and it's not coming up here. Don't think it crashed, it didn't. Ben Franklin. So what are we going to do? Oops. Backspace had its own character code of 08. Versa here. All this stuff on the right, on the left side. By the way, I'm not fooling with the top of the screen. I'm not fooling with any of this. Just all this. I mean, that should be apparent by now because I didn't explain it. That's an error of mine. But all this stuff over here, we're just gonna put it on the edge of the screen. It's not necessary. Click back over here because backspace is its own character. You can't backspace. Big Z, H-A-N-G. Now, instead of 08, we put a 00 on the left side. There's no way of putting 00 on the right side. And where the last name actually starts is supposedly with this second F. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to put a 00 here and then start putting L-I-A-N-G. And then with the other characters where the L is, put 00, 00. And for that 6E to end 00. And when we go into name, we see Zhang Liang. We press triangle, and everything is editable from here. We can change Zhang Liang's gender, his face. I won't want to change that face though. It's pretty unique. Birthday, and everything else. Justice Analytic. We can change this guy from a guy who gets scared in battles when he's normally, what is that? Scared? When people scare him in battles. We can change his personality to calm. Why not? And it won't affect all his tactics and skills, although by now that's irrelevant because we could set that ourselves. He only has 5s here. Let's go ahead and make it M's. You know? Just for difference. Just for change. And now he's got M's there. That seems cheesy, but 5s is already cheesy. That's not even cheesy enough because he doesn't get much TP a turn with his 14 or 15 TP from War and Intellect, plus not having all these other tactics. So he's fine with the M's. You can do whatever you want, but what you can't do is save him with the historical officer's name right here. So this opens up the discussion of what I call the former officer registry in some previous videos, but I'll just change it like to the main officer list now. We can't save this name, so why not just change this in the interim to like Zhang Liang? That's a perversion, but it'll save now. And this is only going to be a temporary change, because what we can do now is, well, modifying this stuff is not going to change the guy's name. I'll show you that now. If we make that back to Zhang Liang and look at alter data, his name's still Zhang Liang, and it's going to stay Zhang Liang. And it became Zhang Liang here. So everything in this block of addresses right here is new officer creation strictly. It doesn't go into anything with the memory card. Anytime we go out of this screen, this stuff doesn't matter anymore. It goes somewhere else. Where does it go? Well, I'm pretty sure it's not all encoded in this hexadecimal. It takes more addresses than that. Than what that's utilizing down there. Maybe. But it does definitely go into what I will start now calling the main officer registry. So let's just X out of here and find those addresses that I'm talking about. Over in here, we're going to scan for the string Xing Liang. Being careful with the cases, first scan. It's probably not enough room, so let me just do this. Alright, so Xing Liang shows up at 2063 blah 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 21E5 FE4. Let's know what we have right down here. I'm just going to tell you right now that this is the address that we want. Xing Liang. He's the newest officer, and he occurs right after my other new officers with some custom names. But nothing else occurs after him. He's the newest new officer. What we can do with him is just change these I's to A's. When we look now in the list, he's become Xing Liang, and we can save him as that. And that's how you can make somebody with a computer guy's name, with an NPC's name. We can double up on names, even though this is, after all, a Yellow Turban Rebellion guy. Now he's an old Han strategist. So what else is here, you may ask? First off, let's save this very important list by denoting right in the middle here where the new officer, whereabouts the main officer registry occurs. When you are first using this table on your own for your own game, the new officer, or the main officer registry I should say, is not going to be this exact address. It's going to be way up where my first officer was. It's going to be about 25 officers ago. So it won't be the exact address that's listed here, but you can modify that later. It'll be up higher, but given the density of these numbers here in hexadecimal, it's not going to be too far off. It's going to be like, I don't know, 8 something. 20638 something. Or maybe 2063. Well, I don't know. But it'll be nearby. Let's go back. I'm just gonna save this guy here. I guess what I could do is save the first name that pops up, which will be my first officer that I made, which was Ming Wei. But I'm just gonna give this to you as like a take-home assignment sort of thing. Yeah, so you can start getting your feet wet and whatever. Main Officer Registry. 25th officer position. This main officer registry means that we have not only our old officers here, or our new officers here for the player characters, but all the NPCs are just above that. So you'll know that around these memory regions, all the new officers occur, or all the old officers occur as well, and you can change their data too. You can change Cao Cao to a female. I'll show you how to do that later. So let's save this. And now let's start examining this region. We've added it to our list down here in the main officer registry. And all this stuff now, since I'm not going to make any more officers for a little while, I'm going to start dealing with main officer registry stuff for this region. Xing Liang. Now let's look at some stuff. Remember that Xing Liang was born in 177, right? And I'm going to pull up some useful stuff here. A smaller window, X out of that. The hex converter again. I'm going to pull up some game facts. I'm going to pull up what I'll need later, which is a character count. So for now, binary hexadecimal operator, or converter. Hexadecimal, nope, decimal 77 for 177 is 4D. That's this region. That's this right here. So right after Xing Liang occurs his birth date, minus 100. That's what I got mixed up in the first video, but that's not a big deal. For now, you can know that in the main officer registry, birth dates occur right after new names. Oops. And right after new names, what else I was gonna say, and they're minus 100 from the actual date. We're gonna add just this address to the list, and it'll be Main Officer Registry. MR is fine. Birth date minus 100. 25th officer. 25th new officer. So yeah, you'll have to switch. You have to. You know what? I'm gonna save you some trouble. Yeah, I'm not gonna be cruel like that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete this address, and I'm just gonna go to Mingwei, which is the first officer. Which, if you're using the same, if memory addresses don't differ by system and by game, by the game copy, the copy of the game that you're using, if it's the same as mine, then it should be fairly easy to follow, as it'll be all be the same addresses. We'll browse this region, which is the new officer region, because new officers start occurring right after Virar is my second officer, and he's my first. And way down there, down here is our 25th one, Zhang Liang. Up, down, so I'm back at Mingwei. Highlight Mingwei's name, and this will be the true start of the officers. Well, not true start. Right here would be. So maybe I should just do that. How many characters is that? It's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But at the same time, let's just... This is 9, right? And you'll figure that it'll be another 8 for the last name. So right here, 9, 8, 17 total. Address to list as a string text with this would be the Main Officer Registry first new officer name. Text 17 in length. Only Ming will show up on the list. That's just something I was talking about earlier. It's just a quirk of PCSX2. But we got all our other data. Now we will go to browsing that memory region. Mingwei is also born in 177, as I can show you here. So now I guess we'll just start dealing with Mingwei instead of Zhang Liang. Mingwei is just some other badass. There's a lot of good stuff, because I'm a cheater. I don't like difficulty. Okay. If you like difficulty, you just set everything to 0. I don't care. Be my guest. So 4D, we'll add this address to the list, and it says 77, and this would be MRR birth year minus 100. Main Officer Registry birth year minus 100. Let me just make this a little more confusing. Main Officer Registry first officer. MORFO birth year minus 100. Change this. To MORFO. Name. MORFO birth year minus 100. So 77. What am I doing? Alright, browse back. So that's the birth year. Let's look at some other stuff so I can, well, I could just tell you what everything is, but I don't want to know what everything is myself. And two, it's good to start investigating things. 4D, so that's 77, that's his war. 62, 64 is 100 in hexadecimal, so that's 98. This is 5E, 94, and 91. And then we go into some other stuff that I'll talk about shortly. So this 4D, 625E, 5B is attributes, but also this 4D, this same sequence of hexadecimal is the same attributes, as is this sequence of hexadecimal. If you've been watching the video so far, this will not be new to you. But if this is your first time, yeah, the attributes occur 3 times. So let's save each of these addresses. And I'll save them in some special names. Maybe there'll be a mistake, but if there's a mistake, then like in calling this base attributes, then you can change it later on. As a matter of fact, This isn't the base attributes. These are the what can I call them? Because basically these things don't change when you start a new game. These are the things that do change when you start a new game, but they don't include item scores. These things down here include item scores and changes. So I guess I could say base, secondary, tertiary, but that's confusing. I could say these are the base right here. These are the real attributes, and these are the plus item attributes. I'll just give it those names. So these are the real attributes. Or I could say changing attributes, but in comparison to the other, it's not descriptive. It's not text. It's an array of bytes. It's actually 4 bytes. So just make it 4 bytes. This is also 4 bytes. Save that address to the list. But I'll wait to save this address because I'll do everything in the order that I know them. So how to find stuff? Well, you just have to investigate things to find what everything is. So if I set a parent, for example, first off, let's see if Mingwei has a parent. He doesn't. Let's delete Mingwei's friend if he has one. And we see 3 things have changed. This, and this change with friends. So remember, character codes are 2 bytes. This must then be the character code, and then this is something else. That's actually compatibility. No surprise there. Remember that Cao Cao inside of that game fact that I'll open up one more time. By Douglas E. Officer Stats fact that has compatibility scores. Cao Cao is 25. That's how easy it is to know Cao Cao. Not how easy it is. That's just where Cao Cao occurs on this range here. And if you're close to 25, within 25 of Cao Cao, then it'll be easy for you to, it'll be relatively easy, or not impossible for you to know Cao Cao easily. Alright, so 10, that's 16, so that, you know, he's between Cao Cao and Dongzhuo. Not really what my guy would be. Let's set him as friends to Cao Cao and see what these numbers become. And it'll tell us a few things. Cao Cao is 96. So just keep watch. 19, 0F, 01. So 010F is Cao Cao's character code. It told us that. Secondly, it told us whereabouts Cao Cao's compatibility score is. But if we just looked up Cao Cao, we could find out through a similar ordering of the addresses in the Main Officer Registry what Cao Cao's compatibility score is exactly and set it to that. Well, 19 in hexadecimal just happens to be 25. This is rare that we are exactly Cao Cao's compatibility when we set him as a friend. So let's just save that. And now 9402. What does this represent? Let's let's go back to portrait. I'm just curious if it's not really just the portrait or not. Let's pick this portrait and see what changes. I wasn't looking. Let's change it back. Face. So as soon as you exit out of this new officer screen here and go back to the menu, all this Main Officer Registry stuff changes before you save it on the memory card. That's good to know. So when we save that, this changed, and I think it was this changed. So once again, because I don't have a video running in front of me, I can't just go back. It'll take me a little bit of time. Wait, what did I just do? And why did it change those things? Holy shit. Alright. Now I'm losing my mind, and just fast forward if you're getting sick of me doing this over and over. Alright, so it changes both of these things. Down here, this. Back to 82. This is fascinating. Why is it changing all these things? I have to figure out what this is now. Okay, Mingwei. Save. This changed then, and these two changed. Damn. Okay, you might just have to find out what this is on your own, because It's giving me a headache. And I'm gonna watch this video later and analyze it as well. I'll just do this all night or morning. Now that only C2D5 has changed. It's kind of... Whew. This is making me tired just looking at it. One more time. Because it could be anything. They could be randomizing the personality traits that I told you about in the first video, these 5. If they exist in this game, in this version of the game, it could be randomizing that. It could be doing anything. So, you know, keeping an eye on this stuff and being inquisitive about it will yield you extra information that you wouldn't come about otherwise. So this changes, this changes, this changes, and this changes every time that we do a change of the portrait. Let's save for now. But remember, B3, B5, there's not much change to that. What is B5 in hexadecimal? B11, 176 plus 5, 181. 181. He's born in 77. E2, D1, 02, D1, 02, D0, I think, was the other guy. So that's the portrait. That should be the portrait. Should be D0, yep. So we found out the portrait code. Alright, so that's good in itself. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to know something. I mean, if it's reasonably short, a few minutes. But once you know it, you can change it forever. And this would be a portrait code. I decided to list as the MORFO portrait code. Going to be 2 bytes. So now we've got the portrait too. So that's nice. But if we want to go in order, then, you know, we'll have to include this right here and this right here. And I'll just tell you, this is the, because we won't be able to find it out here unless we work with some other stuff. This right here is the, what I know as the character code, which is used later for assigning items, assigning actually characters to units in battle. You can change the officers mid-battle. You can do all sorts of stuff. Probably assign people to cities and things that way, and forces. So MORFO character code. MORFO means, of course, Main Officer Registry, first new officer, character code. So it's not actually the first officer, it's the first new officer, but whatever. 2 bytes. And that character code will be used elsewhere. This, well, I'm gonna act like I'm being cursed, but I already know what it is. If I set a parent to this guy, Ming Wei, and I set Albert Einstein as his parent, for example, 02A3 was Albert Einstein's code. Where the hell? Albert Einstein's not old enough. Alright, so let's just modify his birth date. And then let's go back to Ming Wei in the wrong screen and set Ming Wei's parent as Albert Einstein. That might alter his compatibility. We'll see if it does, but it will alter. Yep, it alters compatibility. So the preferential treatment of compatibility might be precedence with parent and then friend. Friend is Cao Cao. It might be parent. And then look here. This is bad. This is really bad. Because the parent went into both these slots. If it's the parent. And now all this code is confusing me. Albert Einstein doesn't have a parent and he doesn't have any friends. Wait, he does have a friend somewhere. It is 2A3. So that's not it. Then who? Let's delete Albert Einstein's friend of Isaac Newton. Yep. So Isaac Newton was 02A3 himself. Sorry. That's now Albert Einstein's compatibility. This should be Albert Einstein's character code. And this is just some more weirdness, strangeness in the Three Kingdoms of why these things change. When if you look down here right now and view Rao's code, well, this should be his character code because whatever pops up here, assuming that it's different from the, you know, from the parent, whatever pops up here, when you put it into the items later, it actually assigns the items to that character. So this is the character code for sure. But when you do stuff, I guess when you change parents, that character code disappears for a little while. So it's taking that place in the memory for now. But if we were to assign values later, if we were to give him an item later, I'm tempted to do that really fast, really quickly. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to give him an item. I'm going to give him some gold and then buy an item and see if this changes back to a default character code, because I want to know. Well, for sure, this one will be the parent. So, morpho parent. 2 bytes. Well, yeah. Let's see for now. I'm just gonna go through all the stuff of beginning a new game. Give him gold. Buying an item. Just to see if my hypotheses are correct. This is way too early. Not all, it'll take forever to load. That 14 right here corresponds to hexadecimal 20, which is the gold. So we're going to change that soon as this loads up. And one nifty thing too to make, well, oh shit, what the fuck? Alright, never mind. Skip. There's something else that I want to show you after this is done. I'm just showing you a whole bunch of things that I've noticed along the way as I run into them. 8281. Perhaps this is month or cycle or year. Maybe that's how many cycles he has to live. If we you just got to think that way. If we have 81 in hexadecimal, what is that? 129. So 81. 129. If we think about how many years that would be if that's in cycles of months, that doesn't make any sense. Right? Because that's just 10 years. I'm pretty sure he's going to live longer than 10 years. So I don't know what 81 is. But it's worth the curiosity that we're putting into it. Alright, so let's just change that to FF01. Press square. And he'll now have 511 gold, which isn't nearly enough, so I'll just make that an F1. FF. Now he's got enough. We'll buy an item, the wine cup. And it is interesting, this changed, some other stuff changed. This is the AP. Maybe. 129 should be 81. So that's not AP, that is. Or maybe that is. Or if we just observe something. That's definitely AP. 6D now should be 109. You can calculate that on yourself, or I'll just do it right now. 96 plus 13. There we go, 109. So we can add this address to the list as the MORFO AP. So now we've got AP. I'm going to keep this an hour. And then we'll later on reorder stuff in our tables over here as they are ordered by address. And look now, that 61,000 became after we only spent 209,999 and defaulted to the maximum. I can add gold, I guess. 270F. Yep, that's definitely the gold. So both of these are the gold morpho code, or gold. And it's 2 bytes. Always be careful to make the correct number of bytes. It's probably going to be 4 bytes. If I make this a 1, yeah, millionaire. But it'll default after the next month or if you buy something. So we can add this address to list as the real morpho gold. Real morpho gold, 4 bytes. And it'll be instructive to look at both of these addresses. This one only reads the first 2 bytes, this one reads all 4. So yeah, we can just delete that. Just press delete. We're just getting all sorts of information now. on address orders in the Main Officer Registry. Alright. So, what's next? Let me just... Okay, that didn't get rid of the gold at all. If we go to a different month, this didn't change, it's still 8-1. Nothing changed. So months aren't denoted here, unless something up here changed. Let me save the game. Ah, look. Those 4 changed as soon as we changed the display. So that's display code. And since this is display code, deals with the display of Ming-Wei's stuff. This is MORFO display code. And I could make do not change here. But this will be instructive because I have to click this so you can see the cursor. 108108 repeats down here. It should repeat down here too. 108108. And then that display code for Wu Rao comes up too. Is it display code or what is this? Oh, wait, no. Yeah. Right. 4D62. These are his attributes for sure. These are the attributes of the previous person, but there is no previous person. So this is just display code, period. Between the new officers and the old officers. So we don't have to save anything about that address. It's not really relevant. Yeah. And I guess it acts like an invisible person whose attributes change all the time, because that would be the pattern in which these things are occurring. Well, okay. What was I gonna do? I was gonna try and find something. Yeah, I was gonna try and find like months and stuff, or death years or something. Maybe death years only go in years, so I don't know you. Now it's 8-2, 8-1. Perhaps somebody can figure out later what that is. 3382 81. Just seeing what changes at the end of the year, and then I'll reload. Assuming I saved. Hopefully I saved. No. So this saved. This changed right here. A008. Nothing discernibly different occurred here. So what just happened? We were asked by an officer if they wanted to join our force. A008 and hex, or 08A0. What's that? 2208. Sometime, well, just 2208. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Now it's a new year. 38281. No, leave me alone. Now it's 0. The year, maybe? The month? I don't know. I really don't know. Alright, so that could be anything. Alright, I really want to find out what it is though. That's all we're gonna do right here. Character code, what I said was the character code didn't change. What we can do is just look for wine cup. There's a lot of addresses here, but we want things that are next to each other, and there being a lot of them. So I'm going to guess that this is where all the wine cups occur in the game, and this is our actual character code, 9402, because there are no other wine cups assigned to anyone in the computer, which is natural. It's a worthless item. So going back to browse, I'm gonna come through here, and we know that he's 9-4. Vu Rao should have been 9-5, and it should have been put right here. Vu Cathal will be 9-6. Well, when I go on the right road and look, 0296, and this next guy should be 0297. So for some reason, the game keeps in mind what character codes are elsewhere. It keeps the permanent position of character code elsewhere, but it changes this just to whatever it feels like. So, oops, yeah, that's fine. I just changed that back because I don't like what it did. The imprecision. So, back where it says character code, I'll just put some question marks here because we don't know if it is. Or say sometimes. You just have to be really careful about that. But you can always see what the character code is for a particular character by, you know, buying him an item and seeing what code was assigned to that item. You know, for an item that doesn't belong to anybody else at the time. So then it's easy to ascertain who that is. Alright, so something else I want to show now that we got the character code sorted down. When we quit here, I just want to show you. If we look back at the New Officer Registry stuff, the addresses have actually shifted. If we go back to the new officer creation, and we want to edit some things, if we pick an officer, he doesn't occur here anymore. So that's just something you have to keep in mind, is that these memory addresses shift. And I say shift because they literally shift downward or upward. If you go up a lot, or maybe down, maybe I'm in the opposite direction, but that won't make any sense either. If you go up a whole hell of a lot, that's not it. Maybe it was down. Let's try down. Browse that memory region going, oh. See? Then it shifted by what is presently indeterminate, but what is actually, was that 28? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, or 22. It shifted 22 times 16 bytes, whatever that is, but it shifted 22 rows down. So that's just something you have to keep in mind or plan for in advance. Since all that we did is pretty much irrelevant to me, I'm going to load slot 9, in which I saved pretty much after slot 8. So basically what I did in advance was save the menu to 9 after I loaded it from a fresh game. This is from a fresh game. You press start, that's where I had saved into 9. So that's what you want to do with this game, just because of some irregularities and how the code works, is that when you first start the game and you have the title up, save to slave slot 8, and then when you put this new menu up, save to slave slot 9, but you can just work with the menu itself. And so you can always default to this, because if we go to new officers, of course, it won't load, so you have to exit out, as I said previously. But when you go back in and you edit a new officer, then we can deal with stuff without the shift. So just always keep these things in mind when you're dealing with the code, otherwise you can make some changes where it's not intended to be changed and then fuck with your game. Alright, so back here, new officers, MORFO, let's see. So supposedly character code, why did it change back to 9.4 or 9.9, you may ask? Well, we just loaded a save slot which had it as 9.9 initially. When we, I guess, no. Actually, I have no fucking idea. Yeah, I just don't have any idea. Just put it back. I don't know. Sometimes things don't change even if you save it onto your memory card, I guess, and in a save slot, or not in a save slot. I don't know. Alright, so that's that. We have parent code. This is empty, but it should be friend code, as I said previously. No, it's not. It's just empty now. So that could be something else. Or maybe these changes aren't being reflected here anymore. This is really, it can be nerve-wracking what's going on here. But the changes with Cao Cao's name and stuff, or Cao Cao being the friend of Ming Wei, it's not showing up there anymore. Oh wait, yeah it is, it's right here. I'm stupid. Let's go back. So that F005 might be a person, and it's not showing up there. But you just have to figure out later what that is. 4D was a portrait. Was it? Show a sign, don't show a sign. That was the region. 4D was a portrait. 4D is a portrait. 6D could be anything. So it's almost as if display stuff is dealt with sometimes right in the middle. I don't know. But like in between these names or something. But let's try and find out some other stuff. We have officer compatibility, we have officer friends. Do we? Nope, I didn't even save officer compatibility or friends. So let's do that. That's almost the end of this video. I mean, by now you get what's going on. You can find out all these things yourself, or just keep watching, or not have to watch because it'll be saved for you later on. But then when some of the funny stuff occurs in the code, you don't know why it's occurring. Then you'll have some questions, and that'll probably refer you back to this video, but not know what time it occurs in the video. So you just have to watch an hour of it, waste your time anyway. So I'm sorry in advance for all the trouble, but it manifests from how the game code is dealt with in the memory. So apologies for whatever. So if you remember, 6A was what was assigned after the friend was made. If we delete the friend, delete Ming Wei's friend, F005 changes, but 6A doesn't change. If we assign Ming Wei's friend back to Cao Cao, I presuppose that the compatibility score will not change, because it prioritizes, as you may well know from what you've sensed in setting parents and friends in different orders, it saves the parent's compatibility with precedence. If we deleted the parent, I still say that it would save the parent's compatibility. Oh no, it doesn't. It sets it back to something like Cao Cao's. So I was wrong there. So to be wrong so that you can correct yourself. Setting parents, not setting parents, every time we set the parent, it changes the code. If we delete the parent, it changes the code too for both these addresses. Maybe it's not the character thing at all. So, right, this is compatibility score. MORFO Compatibility. FF, or I should say 255, it's global. So I didn't even mention that yet. But if you have an FF here, which is also 255, let's put FF and look down, it's 255. A compatibility score of 255 makes you compatible. I said this in the first video, but I'm saying it again. Makes you compatible with everyone. Everyone except for Lu Bu, Wan Shu, and Dong Zhuo. So, looking back here, Wan Shu and Dong Zhuo are compatible with each other. In fact, it loops like a circle, I believe. Let me just see if that's the case while I'm speaking. Save this. Begin a new game with Wan Shu and talk to Dong Zhuo for no reason. Make them talk to each other. Well, what was I saying? With the compatibility scores, they might loop around, but regardless of if they do or not, Lu Bu's somewhere around Dong Zhuo. You'll be compatible with all these people in this range. Right? And not just like who's compatible, I believe it's friendly compatible. When I say friendly compatible, when you talk to them, then either they become friendly instantly, or they only start becoming a little better, an improvement of relationships when you talk to them at trusted. So that's what I mean. when they have really good global compatibility with all these people. And here, either they'll be ignored or just have a little bit of compatibility. So let me just see what I was saying now with compatibility scores that Dongzhuo and Wanshu loop around. Rank ruler, Dongzhuo, Wanshu, not all. I'm just curious like this. I'll be ending the video soon. No, 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 no. I just want to see if these guys are friendly. Weird. Sometimes I get my guesses are really good, sometimes they're really bad. Maybe this will be really, really bad. Yes. No. So they're not compatible, and I was wrong. But strangely enough, when you have FF compatibility, you're not compatible with either Wanshu or Dongzhuo, but you are compatible with everyone else. So, except for Lubu, which is around Dongzhuo maybe. Lubu 145 is actually compatible with Wanshu, and that's why you can talk to him when you have FF compatibility. Excuse me, when you have FF compatibility. Maybe someday I'll just like post a game when I'm editing stuff. Actually, really good to show this technique. Excuse me. Here, just loading 9 so that we don't have to deal with that shifting business. I'm gonna stop the video soon. And you have to exit back out and go back in each time, but it's less cumbersome than the new one with a shift. Let's open back this stuff. Next video I'll just keep continuing what I'm doing, find some more stuff in game, infamy, fame, deeds, skills and tactics inside of the game, abilities inside of the game, other shit, gold, I already found that. And we'll just explore some more, but that'll probably be my last video in this series of videos. I hope you liked it. One more thing before we leave out, we've seen parents and friends, the weird ways in which Koei deals with the code here that I do not like. And let's change this right now, see if it reflects the change later. Set parent, yep, Albert Einstein. But let's put that back at FFFF, or whatever it was. This also means that you can set the parent as like Zuo Si or Hua Tuo. Sometimes when you're doing new officer creation, you can set parents as sages in China, but they occur in like these funny ways. They only occur sometimes and they occur in these batches. It would be very strange if it popped up now, because it's very rare. But yeah, the sages of China actually come through as friends and parents. Selectable friends and parents. This isn't the case here. Pythia is one of those instances where you can change it into a one name thing. Sages of China aren't popping up, and it would take me really long to try and find one's code, unless maybe we just search the name. So maybe we can search the name. What I'm going to do for the rest of the video, it's just going to go a little bit over an hour, is I'm going to try and set Hua Tuo as his father for no reason, because I think he has medicine already. Yes. And I'm going to try and see, because I'm still curious, if those ferocity, calm, ambition, justice, and lifespan figures are dealt with in this section of the memory by changing traits, personalities, and motivations, and then exiting, and then saving out, like sort of saving out, you know, coming back to the menu while authorizing the new officer. You see what I mean? First, let's try and make Hua Tuo the parent. He'll also be in the main officer registry, but a little bit above. So this address is way off. It just looks awful. Maybe it looks awful just because of, okay, yeah, just because of what else is in there. Main Officer Registry begins at 20639. So 20639, this is after that. So that's the items. The items occur then probably some long while after the new officers. I'm not going to keep scrolling forever. I could 639, whatever. But this is Hua Tuo's information right here. And what does it show? He has a compatibility of 0, 0. 5363 is not his officer code. When you look at Cao Cao, that's not officer code, so maybe it's not officer code at all. Let's see if 01F1 is him. If he's his own parent or not. By setting Ming Wei's stuff to 01F1. Or F101. Unless I just forgot what that was. Lu Fang? Are you kidding? Who the fuck is... Who is... Really? That's disappointing. It's not his real father. He would be a Lu, I'm sure. What? This makes absolutely no fucking sense. Okay, maybe I just forgot what that said. What the fuck? So apparently Lu Feng is Hua Tuo's father, even though that's impossible. If I put 53, if I were to assume that Hua Tuo's character code was 5363, which is, I'm pretty sure I know is incorrect, and I put that as Ming Wei stuff over here, what would that mean? 5363. So, okay, let me just come back. Then as a parent, it's still blank. So that's nothing. If I put 5363 here, maybe something would occur. But I have no idea why Lu Feng is set as his parent. You'd have to try a lot of different numbers. That's disgusting. I'm gonna... So you can make a child a parent. That makes no sense. You can make an officer itself a parent. 9402. See if Ming Wei is his own parent now. Yep. Useless though. I don't know how that works. Ming Wei Senior, Junior. Alright, so Cao Cao could be his parent. But, you know, that's easy to set anyway. You could be Cao Cao's father. Oh shit. You can make Cao Cao's father and stuff. That's awesome. That really is awesome. Oh my god. Wow. Alright, so the game becomes limitless when you can change all these addresses in memory like this. That's his own father, but let's say 427. And let's look here. Let's set friends. 635 minus 20, 610. So 611. What's that? And even then, who's 610? Then Ming Wei Sima Zhu is his parent. 611. Set parent. Zhuge Zhu. More computer characters. Who's 1? Wei Zhao. So apparently they're just occurring in random orders. Zhu Shao. Nice. So keep that in mind. Zhu Shao is 115. His parent code is 115. I'll write that down and put it in the description if anyone's interested in that sort of thing. Zhu Shao. Character code. 115 in decimal. Oops. 115 in decimal. is 73 in binary. So 73 binary. Not binary, hexadecimal. Good. So if you want to do Shao as a parent, knock yourself out. I think he's pretty lame. 114. Zugong. So it's not quite alphabetical, it's like loosely. Oh, look here. I set Nandu as a parent because his character code was correct. I was able to find Nandu's character code. Nandu, South Star, it's just a stage that occurs when you begin the like a Heroes of Time scenario or whatever it's called. The Rise of Heroes scenario. In the beginning, Nandu's that guy. And Three Kingdoms VIII, here's the guy who gave out the skill Bless. Nandu. So that's some shit. And then apparently his parent is 4902. But then look, oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. Oh, I'm looking in the fucking wrong side. Fuck. So none of these people have parents. But then 4902 in relation to Nandu is just something new. Whereas this 4802, that's Nandu. For sure. So yeah, we just... For computer characters, code occurs in a different order. I'm thinking that this is birth year, this is war, political, intellect, charm, or charisma, compatibility, and then character code, parent, something else, maybe it's not in a different order. Let me see, birth year, attributes, compatibility should be character code but changes when we make a parent. And if we put 4802 here, he becomes Nandu's, or Nandu becomes his parent. 4902 is apparently Nandu's parent or something different, whatever was on the side there. In this position. And that's a minister. So who's D102? Because that's what's over here. Perhaps that's the next position. Or maybe it's just nothing. Okay. So this is crazy. So this is definitely parent. But this is a mystery. 9402. You know what? 4802. So we can see in decimal what Nandu's is. So 584. That shouldn't matter then. Because I know I'm repeating myself and stuff, but I'm fascinated by this process and I like looking through things and changing it. Is that well, if we were to go back to Hua Tuo and look at what was supposed to be the correct address for his character code, that's actually right here, 004A, which is 6474. So if we put 74 in here for right here, parent, it'll be Hua Tuo for sure. And it is. So yeah, now you can set anyone as your parent. Let's make Cao Cao's parent. This will be the last exercise. I said I was gonna do motivation, personality stuff, and first recall ambition, justice. But I'm just gonna hold on from that because then I'll just be taking forever. Let's look at Cao Cao's parent. I don't know his name offhand. So, who's he born to? He's born in Cao. His father, Cao Song, was a foster son of Cao Ting, who in turn was one of the favorite eunuchs of Emperor Huan. Cao Song, Han Dynasty, blah blah blah, Emperor Tai, career, honest, sincere, good moral conduct, so I already got an image in my mind of who he's going to be. Let's show Cao Song, obtain the song. Oh, he bribed eunuchs who were deeply trusted by the Emperor. and purchase post. So he's kind of corrupt behind the scenes. But he was born in an unknown time and died in 993. Right. He retired in 193. I'm gonna guess he retired at 60. So maybe he was born in 133 and died in 193. Well, Cao Cao was born in 155, so then that would make him 22 when Cao Cao was born. That might be legitimate. Unless Cao Cao has, you know, brothers and stuff. Family background. Let's look at some children information. Not listed. Okay, so maybe family tree information is listed in Cao Cao's stuff. Cao Cao mausoleum, fiction, tree, family, Kawi family trees. Cao Ting, Cao Song, Cao Song's children are all these guys, and Cao Cao is not the earliest one. Marquis Eye of Haiyang. Child of Cao Song. So let's guess that instead of at 22 he had Cao Cao, let's guess he had him at like 25. So then that would make him, since Cao Cao was born in 155, that would make him 130 is his birth year, 193 his death year. Let's make Cao Song. Unless he already exists. But he doesn't. Face. I want to use this guy's face. Does it look like Cao Cao? I should know. Yeah, that's close enough, right? I think he's good enough for Cao Cao's father. Birth year 130, so we can't go beyond 150 here. Let's just change it to 130 down here. Birth year. Because after all, we can make it 2014, right? So we can go back. Traits. Let's make him ambitious, calm. So he had the appearance of justice. He was ambitious. Let's just say he wanted power. Make him political. And instead of doing some stuff like that, so let's do this. Let's make him 32, 88, 94, 91. 87. Alright. Whatever. So we saved him. And now we're going to modify his compatibilities. We can't set through Cao Song's information, you know, that he's the father of Cao Cao. We have to do that through Cao Cao himself. Let me just look right here again. Oh, I deleted it. I got rid of it. Whatever. 02 AD. I'm gonna have to write that down. That's our new Cao Song character. His compatibility. 19 is Cao Cao's. That would be Cao Song's parent. Shit. That's something else. Alright, so what else would we have to change here? Nothing. Except maybe fame and deeds. This is fame. Let's make his fame 20,000. No, that's too much. Let's make his fame 10,000. 1027. And I didn't show you where fame is at. That I'll wait for a later video. Maybe tomorrow. 1027. Now he's got that much fame when he starts a game. Hopefully. And one of the weird things about how the game operates, I have to wrap it up really soon now, is that well, if we were to change like an item and change the item description, I'll do this in tomorrow's video, we were to change the item description and the item name and the item stats and save that in the memory card and save it on these save slots here, well, it still wouldn't be permanent. I have no idea why. Perhaps that gets loaded every single time the ROM is loaded, and perhaps the computer generated or the into the NPCs like Cao Cao himself. Even though we will change his information soon, coming into, let's go to the 193 scenario because that's when Cao Song dies. Perhaps he'd already be dead there. That's why Cao Cao's attacking Zhu in revenge. I'll come to 192, and we'll select Cao Song. When we change Cao Cao's information, it won't be permanent. Unfortunately, you can't do that. I mean, perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps there's some way to make it permanent, or that I'm not noticing. Because I'm wrong like 50% of the time anyway, when it comes to this game, when I'm guessing stuff. But yeah, I don't think it'll last. And as of course, his fame was readjusted. Let's reset that. Should have put him in Cao Cao City. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go to Cao Cao. The fact that we're changing this is no surprise. I mean, there's no shock value to it now that we're just changing everything. But it's still fun. Of course, if you're tagging along, I guess now you're here for the fun of it. This is the 1802. Now we should presumably have Cao Song be the father of Cao Cao. Let's get him to move to Cao Cao City. That's not it. And strangely enough, he won't be trusted. Because, you know, we haven't set that yet. But, of course, we've already seen here, if your eyes are quick enough, that his parent is Cao Song. Me. So that's kind of special. We just made, in essence, an NPC. Who is, you know, a player character, but we could quit him, start as somebody else. Or even do this, as I want to try. Leave Cao Song to the computer, add him real fast. What is this highest? 94. Good. And when we do that, this code has been retained. Let's save him. I want to see under what conditions code is retained. Or under what conditions changes to like Cao Cao and stuff is retained here. Might just be when you save it to a memory card, but let's see stuff. And now when we talk to Cao Cao, he's trusted. As expected. Father, what a coincidence. This is pretty nice. I'm gonna cry. let me show you something. You will not be happy. I'm just gonna change a little thing right here to B. And now Cao Cao is a female. Of course he doesn't look like one, so maybe we should come back to the portraits and make this, let's say, D702. Oh, wait, that's not portraits. Hopefully this is it. D702. Okay, so that's some extra stuff. E. Nope. Gotta go a little further. No, that's Cao Cao. Oh man, that's bad. So yeah, there's a lot of freedom that I wouldn't necessarily recommend you exercise, but you know, whatever. You can change Cao Cao and anyone else as you like. You just got to be able to find things by testing them out. And I guess that concludes this video. Thanks for tagging along. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you like it, feel free to start watching the next one as soon as it's posted. But you know, it'll be posted before anybody starts watching these videos anyway. Probably won't even be checking for comments by the time people start watching. But oh well. Yep. It's been my pleasure, and I'll see you next time. Oh wait, before we end, yes, I wanted to see under what conditions this code will disappear. So if we go back, it's already disappeared when we start here. If we were to load 0, yep. So let me also try quitting and then loading, just to see that if it's on the memory card. We know it's on the save slots. Save slots save all the memory. Maybe just changes to it from the ROM. But if we load here from the card, yep, he's no longer Cao Cao's parent. But coincidentally enough, we got Cao Cao to trust it instantly. So it's hard to find where bonds are located inside the game, but that's one way to get somebody to trust it, is manipulating the parental system if you want. But it doesn't work through loading memory cards, it only works through loading save slots. I.e. when you change non-player character information. I mean, we could change this to A1. And that didn't do anything. We could change this to 6-3. And you got plow, or you got trade, or whatever. You got something. What was it, 6-2? Yes, you got trade. So I'm just doing shit, adding skills to Cao Cao. But these skills, these changes will not carry on through memory card loadings. So you have to change them every single time you start a new game, unfortunately. So that's just the way the game works. Well, alright, that's the end of the video now. Thanks for watching, and next time we're gonna try and go over how to find in the Main Officer Registry, for at least for actually everybody, find those different personality triggers, because personality affects, when you make your PC player characters NPCs, it'll affect their actions, and we want to determine their actions, how ferocious they are, how ambitious they are, and so on and so forth, because that's just an integral part of the game that we want to control. It's all about control here. So we'll try and do that in the next video. I doubt it'll be successful, but what will be successful is changing item information, changing city information, changing, you know, you can change wall defenses, units, but those are kind of hard to find. We'll do all that, and hope you tag along for the next video. See you.